Okay, so we're here once again in Mining Simulator 2, and for today's video I'm going to show you guys how to AFK rebirth, and it is honestly so easy. Now there's just a couple things to go over before we start this video. One thing you're going to need is a computer. I don't believe there's really any way of doing this on mobile. Secondly, you will need this here, the teleporter. If you don't have the teleporter, then I don't really think this is going to be possible either. And then the last thing is this little thing up here, which is TinyTask, and I'll leave the download link for the TinyTask down in the comment section. So in the pinned comment, make sure you do download it from there. And yeah, that's the little intro basically. So let's just get straight into it. So once you've downloaded TinyTask and opened it, it'll look exactly like this. And all you need to do is come over to the preferences like so. Make sure that play speed is on 1 times. Make sure that continuous playback is selected on like so it has this little tick next to it. And then also just choose any hotkey that you prefer. I'm just going to keep it as a default Control Shift Alt and R, and the playback one the same as Control Shift Alt and P, just to kind of keep it as simple as possible. And it's up to you, it's more or less preference, but I would always recommend having the always on top selected, just so that when you are basically just in here in Roblox, you can also see what TinyTask is basically doing. So yeah, just makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, let's just get straight into it and go over to the area that we need to go to. So it doesn't really matter where you do this, it's just about more or less the amount of blocks that you mine. However, I'm actually going to do this in the overworld actually, just to make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to go down to the Crystal Cavern, because most likely a lot of people might be seeing this after the update has happened and the summer fair is gone. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do it down here in the Crystal Cavern, just to make it a little bit easier. Now, basically what you need to start out by doing is opening up your teleporter like so, and then just basically placing it on the exact block that you are stood on, just like this, and then have your tool equipped like so, and it just makes it a little bit easier then. And this is basically the start of what you need to do. Now the rest of this is when you're going to be actually recording using TinyTask. So as you saw before in the preferences, whatever you've set your hotkey to is how you record. Really simple. So all you need to do now is just kind of get yourself ready and start recording. Mine is Alt Shift Control and R. Then once you've started recording, just hold down like so. Really easy. And whilst you are holding, this is recording all of your mouse movements, including holding and any movements that happens. Now what you need to do is basically mine down enough for you to basically get enough to rebirth. Now this is important just for the simple fact that if you are mining down and you don't get enough to rebirth, then it's going to completely fail the whole thing. So I'm just going to mine down to about 1.5 million blocks, just to make it a little bit easier. And once we've done that, I'm also going to go ahead and actually turn on any of my boosts that I can as well, just to make it a little bit easier. Now we're here down at 1.5 million blocks. Now you need to move your mouse down and click on the teleport and click remove, and then place the teleporter back underneath you. Then you need to go here and press sell. Really easy. Come over here, press rebirth, click your coin thing down here, click it again, and then once you've rebirthed like so, come down to your teleporter, click it once more, press teleport, it'll bring you back down, click on your riptide, place your mouse back over where you were just mining, and then stop the recording by pressing your hotkey once more, and then that's literally it. So now all you need to do is start the playback. So basically for that you need to go back in your hotkey and just make sure you know what hotkey you've used. So for me it is Control Shift Alt and P, and as you can see now, if I do that, it's going to start mining for me. It's going to start doing all the movements exactly for me, which is absolutely amazing. My hands are completely free. I'm clapping right now, as you just heard then. Really simple, and I can go off now, go get something to eat, go get something to drink or whatever, and come back, and this will be mining for itself. And once it does get around to the 1.5 million blocks, basically it more or less holds it down for exactly the amount of time that you did. So you will see that it will go a little bit over that 1.5 million that we had a bit before. However, this is holding it down for the exact same time that I did. So in a moment, as you can see, it's now stopped and it is now going down, getting the teleporter. And it is important that you use all of these, you click all of these instead of using the hotkeys like 1 and 2, and it's placed the teleporter back down. It is gone up to the sell station by itself, it is sold by itself, it is now rebirthing by itself. And as you can see right now, it's going to go ahead and click the teleporter all by itself. It's going to teleport back down, and then it will get the Riptide, the tool back. It'll reset itself, and then it will basically start to loop in. And as you can see, it has gone back to mining once again. So yeah, really easy. This isn't really considered an exploit, as the fact that this is an auto clicker, which basically, if you are an auto hatcher, you would understand that auto clickers are in the game. So technically, this is also an auto clicker, not an exploit. So as you can see, this is really simple, and it's anything that you can do basically with using the game anyways, apart from the fact that your mouse is just doing it all for you. So it's a really good way to rebirth. And as you can see as well, my rebirths have shot up since I started doing this, just for the simple fact that I can do all the boring bits, let the game do all the boring bits for me, and then I can go away, do whatever I want, and then come back and do all the fun bits by myself. And as you can see, it's still looping around. Now again, as I said before, it is really important that you click on all these things and not actually press 1 or 2, just for the fact that if you are pressing 1 or 2, it won't record that thing. And as you can see, the mouse does it all for you instead. So make sure you are clicking on the teleporter, make sure you click teleport, make sure you're clicking on everything, and like so, and it will just keep rebirthing and repeating itself. Now obviously you can do this in the summer fair as well whilst it is here, and it will be a lot quicker if you're doing it around like the 60,000 stone and stuff. I can rebirth more or less once every 10 seconds or so. So with this TinyTask, I can basically do an hour's worth of rebirthing without doing anything whatsoever and get a ton of rebirths, which is really good whilst I'm literally watching YouTube or whatever. So yeah, really cool. And also make sure you do not alt tab out of this. Make sure you don't close your Roblox, because if you do, then the mouse movements are going to continue. However, it's going to be continuing on your browser or on your desktop or something. So make sure you stop your TinyTask by pressing your playback button like so. And as you can see now, the mouse has stopped moving. I can get my mouse back. You can actually still do all the mouse movements. As you can see, it is going to keep doing it. However, you can move around the mouse. However, once it starts to actually do the movements and stuff, it will kind of try and drag itself back. So just make sure you do stop the playback once you are finished. But yeah, really good way to rebirth, really easy as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.